Hello Dinkus Squad. Today my autism has kicked in again, so I decided to go into Practice Tool and optimize GWEN full clears for 3 hours. I ended up getting the exact same time as the fastest clears I found on YouTube, so I'm considering the possibility that I just wasted 3 hours of my life, which I will never get back. Anyways, here's the GWEN full clear guide for both blue and red buff start. For both clears, you want to start on the blast plant to get 1 extra stack, and then you use Q at 4 stacks. Afterwards, you need to auto attack 6 times in between each Q, so you don't use your Q off cooldown because you're gated by your auto attacks and not by your Q cooldown for these camps. You want to go to 3 stacks, then kite back, do 1 auto on Gromp, target champions only, and then after you target champions only, you kite inside the Gromp so you can line up your Q with the blue buff, and you get 1 extra auto attack on the Gromp. This is pretty easy to fuck up, so if you want to, you can just skip the last auto attack on the Gromp before your Q. Then you want to wait until after you're doing Gromp, you wait until your E is off cooldown, and you use 1 extra auto attack once it's off cooldown, and then you E backwards and kite towards wolves. Once you're on wolves, you just want to be kiting down towards raptors. Make sure to maximize your auto attacks, not your Q cooldown, because you have an X you see at the end here, you're never able to get a 3rd Q off. And then you want to have 4 Q stacks walking between wolves and raptors. Then you EQ over the wall, making sure to get your true damage onto the big raptor. And then once you use your 2nd Q and a few auto attacks, you should finish the raptor camp. Then you E over to red buff. And again, you're maximizing auto attacks, so you're not queuing off cooldown, you're trying to queue only if you have an auto attack that was just used. Then you smite the red buff, and you E onto the Krugs, and you fight the Krugs. You want to be queuing off cooldown on the Krugs, because this is the only camp where you actually need this last Q in order to finish the camp. And I was able to finish this in 303.05. For red buff, once again, you're starting on the blast plant and you're auto attacking for 4 stacks, and then you're kiting towards you want to kite away from the bush so that you don't get it out of vision, and your goal is to use the smite, and then you save your Q stacks to go over Krug wall, and then you EQ onto the Krugs immediately as soon as possible, so you should have control E and then immediately level up your E. And here we are just queuing the Krugs off cooldown because we want to use our last Q to kill all of the tiny Krugs. Like so. And now we walk to the Raptor camp. We auto the small Raptor in front, and then we auto the big Raptor, and then we use Q immediately. We kite into the bush. I had a little trouble kiting here, so I lost a lot of time. You could probably save an extra 2 seconds on this Raptor camp. But we want to get 2 stacks off the Raptors, or 1 stack. But you want to basically keep a stack of your Q, and then you EQ over the wall to do a little extra damage to the wolves. And then we are kiting the wolves up. We use this Q. We get 2 stacks, and then we E over the blue buff wall. We auto the blue buff. We walk behind it, and then we use our Q lined up with the wolves and the blue buff to save a little bit of time. And then here we are now kiting the blue buff over to Gromp. So we do like this, we smite the Gromp, we auto the Gromp once, and then we use our Q on the blue buff. And then we just kill the Gromp, and we're done. And this was finished in 302.62. And don't do that dumbass clear where you start on Raptors because it's slow and gay. So, hope this helps.